New from K-Tel Records, 22 explosive hits.
Hey everybody, it's me, Steve Schnee, the CD Junkie. On this episode of CD Junkie, I'm going to be talking about a Texas band by the name of the Judys. Now, the Judys were recording from 1980 until about 1991 or so. They were a new wave band, but I don't want to call them new wave. I don't want to call them post-punk. I don't want to call them art rock. They were all of that and more. It was just a trio. David Bean on vocals, guitar, different instruments, sounds, rhythms, and he was the main songwriter. But there was also Jeff Walton, incredible bass player, kind of reminding me of, let's say, listening to that first Rosillo's album, where they're great songs, but you're focused on that bass because it's just like, holy cow, that's amazing. And then the drummer was Dane Sesek, I think is how you pronounce his last name. They were all three great musicians. Like I said, the band's name is the Judys, but it's Judy apostrophe S, not Judys as in plural. I believe they were based out of or close to Houston, Texas. Their records never made it to Southern California. I read about them somewhere, never able to find the record. I never actually owned anything by the Judys. Now, I'd heard stuff by them, but never actually owned CDs until I stumbled across them in Texas just a few years ago. And those are what I'm going to talk about right now. Now, if you love Devo and B-52s and some of the art rock bands of the late 70s and early 80s, even including, let's say, Talking Heads, they're sort of on the same level as those bands, but they don't sound like them. They're maybe a little quirkier, maybe a little punkier, but definitely if you like, maybe let's say Duty Now for the Future era Devo, where it's quirky, odd, and angular, but it's still very poppy, you're definitely going to want to check out the Judys. Now, in 1980, they released an EP called The Wonderful World of Appliances. Top-notch, weird, wonderful, wild, completely part of the new wave universe, but also completely outside of it. Each band member, even though they had their respective instruments, bass guitar, drums, and whatever on top of that, each member was so integral to the band's sound, weaving in and out of it was just incredibly amazing and a very, very unique band. And it's strange that they never really got outside of the Texas area. Maybe it's because they were too original for most labels to understand. But they finally released a debut album in 1981 called Washerama, and that is right here on CD. Fantastic from start to finish. Some of the songs you take 2 or 3 listens before you can really get into them. Maybe 1 or 2 songs makes 5 or 6 listens to get into it. Most of the songs are first listen and you're going, whoa, okay, this is pretty awesome. Now, the great thing about this CD is it also includes, as bonus tracks at the end, the Wonderful World of Appliances EP. Now, there was a couple singles that were released in the 80s that didn't make it on CD, but almost everything the Judys released is available on the CDs that I'm going to show you. So, Washerama, absolutely fantastic, great new wave. The comparisons to Devo and the quirky side of B-52s and bands like that, really, if you love that stuff, you're going to love and you're going to need to check out the Judys. Leader David Bean released a solo release called Moto Music in 1983, but the Judys returned with the Moo album in 1985. Now, this CD, another great thing about it, is it contains David Bean's entire solo release, Moto Music, and this is another collection, quirky, fun. Sometimes you laugh, sometimes you get a little scared, but you're always loving it because the hooks are there and they're really operating their own universe. And again, each member's talents sort of intertwine and it just becomes this one great band. And that is called the Judys. Like I said, with an apostrophe. The Moo album is the name of their second album. Now, there was one more single in 1987, but by the time the Judys returned with another album in 1991 called Land of Plenty, the only original member was David Bean, the singer-songwriter. Now, that doesn't mean that this album isn't good. This album is really good, just not as quirky as the earlier albums. It's still very, very quirky. There's still some art rock in there. He does take some weird chord changes and it's not really commercial and top 40, but it's closer to being more commercial and more acceptable to a wider audience. I don't think that was his intention. I think it was just the fact that, his songwriting was changing and his outlook was changing. So the Judys, Land Land of Plenty. That was the third album, and that was the final release by the Judys, which is really sad because, you know, when you look at things like the Move album and Washerama, very, very unique, very original. I mean, if you love that quirky pop from the early 80s, the Judys are a band that you've been missing out. Just incredible. I highly recommend you check them out, whether it's vinyl, CD, whatever. Great band. In fact, I'm not going to wait to make you hear them, though. I'm going to present to you right now a medley, just a few sound bites from some of the tracks from each album, and it'll give you an idea of what to expect. And I really think that you should check them out. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Judys, and I'll see you on the other side.
Come on, baby, do the new craze. Get yourself some elevator raise. It's the latest thing from Harrisburg, and they call it the radiation squirm. When I turn on Channel 4 on my TV, on my TV. Oh, I'm watching my TV on the floor. Watching my TV on the floor. She's got a tiger drum set. She can play anything. She has a red guitar, like she broke the strings. She's got the beat. She's got the beat. She's got the beat and the rhythms in her head. You never call me. You never call me. It's all the same since you took my number down. You never call me. She's got a house and yard, always wanting something more. Got his own name on a credit card. It's money on the easy score. Where did it come from? He didn't know, he didn't care. Was a teenage millionaire. It's something that I wouldn't know about. It's something I can't understand about a magazine man. He's so GQ, magazine man. He's so GQ, magazine man. He makes me feel so inadequate. I pray that he'll feel used. Magazine, it's good. It's cold. It's white. I love it. It's fortified with vitamins. It's pasteurized. I love it. It's homogenized. Oh, I love my milk. She's got the top down, riding with her new boyfriends. Got her hair piled up back. Got the engines revving. I will never ride in Marsha's car. If I could, I would do anything. I would be your Superman. Fly high. Yeah, Card and Michael Caine, Betty Davis, Joe Fontaine, Joey Heatherton, Lucy Ball, Monty Hall, and Jack LaLanne. Celebrity.
Well, that's it. Thank you for hanging out and watching this video. I appreciate you very much. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, to ring that bell for future notifications. And until the next time, remember me. I'm Steve Schnee, the CD Junkie.